Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to another video. This video brings me back up here to the Redding area, to the Neversink Mountain Preserve. And if this area that I'm standing at looks familiar to you, well, I was here in January with RJ and we explored this part of the mountain looking for the old electric railroad bed, Clapperthaw Station, Clapperthaw Pavilion, and some of the hotels up here and everything. But today I came back up here to explore another section of it, and it's probably going to be my last video for up here exploring this mountain. But I wanted to check to see where they used to have an old lake up here, or an old dam or something, where there were ice dam as they called it, I think. So that's up around the bend there. Plus I want to venture out past the lookout that we were at where my previous video with RJ ended, and continue on out there and venture out there just about out to 9th Street. So it's a pretty nice day out here. Should be a good day for hiking. So let's get started down the trail. All right, so my previous video, this path should look familiar because that's where we came up from the parking area and then went up along here to the Dangler's Glen Hotel and the Centennial Springs Hotel. That was up there, and that's where those two underground cellars were that me and RJ explored. But today we are going to be taking this trail right here, which is the Cove Trail. That's going to take us out through there, and we should come across where there used to be an ice dam there at one time. So let's start venturing down the trail and see if we find any remains. Okay, we came to our first remain, and that's right there. And I checked my app that I'm using, which is Trail Forks, to see all the trails that are on the mountain here. And this is the Ice Dam Bridge. So if I can find any old photographs of this area here when they were using it, my guess would be, since it's called the Ice Dam Bridge, that this was a little area here where they used a pond or whatever to get ice in the wintertime, maybe. I'm just guessing. So, but there is a little bridge going across here, and there's a little wall here and everything. So my guess would be that this was a dam at one time, and this area here might have been a pond that was a little deeper at one time. So there's a trail that'll continue on that way and go up the mountain, but we're going to be venturing on this trail that's over there, that's going up over, and that should take us out close to the lookout where me and RJ were at, where my previous video from here ended. So yeah, we had a little bit of a climb getting down from the bottom, which is all the way down there, to where we're at right now. And we still have a little bit of a ways to go to get to the top there, and then it's down the other side and onto the old railroad bed that was there. But this here is another trail that branches off, but this is not one of the public trails. Most likely this trail here goes back to the residence that you see back there in the woods. Like I said in my other videos, there are a couple homes up here, so you have to watch when you're hiking around up here. Make sure you're not venturing on the private property. But a little bit ways to go yet, and then we'll be at the top. Made it up to the top here, and as I was coming up the path, I looked over and saw some interesting rock formations there, which is more or less the peak of the mountain here, because we're going to start going down the other side. But that just caught my eye there, that there's some formations there. Don't know what they were there when the mountain was formed or what, but rather interesting seeing them there. And you got more rock formations there, and way up on top there is a huge formation of rocks up there. But almost down to the upper lookout here. Just a little bit ways down there around the bend there should be the upper lookout. So here we are at the upper lookout, and this is where the my previous video ended with RJ. So if you look out through there, you can see where the railroad bed goes out alongside of the mountain. And I did find old photographs online of the railroad bed, which is down below me, of the trolley on here, but it's hard to guess the exact point where the photos were taken. But when we get down there and start walking, I'll insert some of the pictures in there for you that you can see what it was like when the electric railroad was here and the trolley or streetcars were on the mountain. So as I'm walking out along the old railroad bed here, I came across these things. They look like 4 foundations for something with concrete, and that is steel in there. You can tell it was cut off, whatever it was. But I'm curious as to what this could have been, because the railroad would have came right through here and continued on out there, going out to where that other overlook is there and everything. But I'm not quite sure what these would have been for. And before anybody suggests that it was for a water tower, no, there was no water tower on this mountain for the railroad or anything, because the streetcars were trolleys. It was an electric railroad. So you can rule out that this being the base for a water tower. But I'll have to go back and see if there's through old aerial photographs and see if there's anything here, because I did find another company, or another website I should say, that shows old aerial photographs, and that is called the Dallin Aerial Survey Company, and I'll put the name of it at the bottom of the screen there. But I went through there and I found old aerial photographs from the 1920s, 1930s. That's to me shows more than what Penn Pilot does for the Reading area here. They pretty much were like a mid-Atlantic aerial surveying company. I guess they went down to North Carolina or whatever, but they I found a lot of old photographs of the city of Reading here, of this mountain and Mount Penn Mountain and just other areas. So I'll probably be showing some of the photographs from that company in some of my videos with areas that I explore and everything. But yeah, did not know these remains were here. And again, there's no markings on any maps that I'm using or any trail apps or anything like that, so I have no idea what these foundations would have been here for. Alright, so I did look on one of my other mapping apps that I use to check property lines and everything, and those foundations back there are on the map. They're just marked as concrete stanchions, so it doesn't give any more information as to what they were used for. So I came out just a short distance from where those concrete stanchions were and got more concrete stanchions here, or concrete foundations. But again, still don't know what they would have been used for, but railroad bed continues on going out that way there. So straight off there, you can see the Titus generating station, and I'll zoom in a little bit for you with that. There's 422. Yep, I had to stick my finger in there. Anyway, you can see 422 there, and just on the other side of 422 is the bridge for the old Pennsylvania Railroad, which is the Thun Trail section of the Schuylkill River Trail. And then that trestle that's way in the back there is the Turkey Path for Norfolk Southern that branches off the line there and goes down to Dyer's Quarry in Birdsboro. So just a different perspective of seeing the plant from this side of the mountain. And I don't know if it's showing up there, but over right in there where that green area is, that is the Reading landfill. And there's a bunch of white birds flying right around the smokestack there, probably not showing up that good. Might be able to see them right there, but it's not focusing in right. But yeah, those are seagulls right there. See if I can zoom in again and get them. That they are circling the landfill there. They are not snow geese or tundra swans, they are seagulls. So we come to a fork in the trail, literally. So the gravity railroad or the electric railroad runs straight out there, which is where we're going to go, but you can go down this path over here, and that will take you down to one of the gates there on South 9th Street or Poplar Neck Road, or what was originally known as Route 82. But we're going to be going straight ahead here and see if we can find any more remains along the way. This area through here is starting to look like an old railroad bed just by the cutout here in the terrain of the land. And what's funny is the app that I'm using, Trail Forks. They have it marked on there. This trail is known as the Electric Slide. Find that a little ironic, but yeah, electric railroad, electric slide, yeah, makes sense. Can definitely tell right here that this is the remains of a railroad bed right there. And continuing on out through along the side of the mountain once again. All right, came to plenty of forks in the trail here, or forks in the road, but so this one here, you can take that and go down the side of the mountain there, and that'll take you down to the 9th Street gate, which is right down there at the bottom. And you can probably see 422 in the distance there. Brentwood Industries is right out there through the trees. And then the trail will, one of the trails will turn right, and that will take you up and to another level going up the mountain there, and it'll probably bring you out close to where I parked up there in my last video when me and RJ were up there at the transmitter site. I think that's where it'll bring you out up there, but the actual railroad itself, or the electric railroad, continues straight on out through there, which is where we're going to head to. My goal is to make it out to the other transmitter site that's right out here, where Y102's AM station transmitter is located, and that's where I'll be turning around and heading back. All right, so this is going to be about the best area to give you a vantage point here and show you what I'm looking at here in Reading. So straight out here is 422, and that is the Lancaster Avenue exit. That's there. And I'll zoom in on that. I had to switch to the phone here to zoom in on stuff. There we go. So that's the Lancaster Avenue exit. And then almost in the center of the screen there, you can probably see the green shack that's there from when I filmed the Thun Trail section of the Pennsylvania Railroad right there. That little cemetery with that green shack that was there. And that video will pop up in the corner of the screen. And then in the center of the screen right there, that is Reading Hospital over there, or Tower Health. And then over right about in the center right there, I think that's center, yep. Center of the screen is the old knitting mills over in Wyomissing, the old Berkshire knitting mills over there. And then we'll zoom back out and point out some businesses along the way. That building right there is UGI Gas. This is Unichains here, I believe. Brentwood Industries is right there. Alvernia College is right over there. And then this is all considered like part of Reading yet, or Kenhurst Borough that's over there. And yes, I can even see my place of employment from here, but I don't share that on here, who I work for. For those of you that know me, you know who I work for. So, but there's just a view of basically West Reading, Wyomissing, and still part of the city of Reading here, and then Kenhurst Borough and Shillington Boroughs off in the distance there. So it was about maybe a week ago. It was on a weekend, I believe it was a Friday or Saturday or something like that. They actually had a fire here on the mountain, on this area of the mountain where I'm at here. And right there is part of one, spread over to there. Back here, another little fire. And over here was another area. And I'm sure as I'm walking out through here, I'm going to find more. But yeah, this area right here is burnt. But just looking at this here and the area where I'm at, I will say, and being in the fire service, I think I can safely say this was set. The way this is right here. And the fire that was here was pretty big. They had trouble accessing it, but they did get on the mountain and was able to put it out and everything. But yeah, this right here, this was definitely set. This was no accident. There is a interesting structure there. Not quite sure what that would have been used for, but sometimes things that are disappointing in one video turn out to be surprising in another video, so to speak. So this is still the railroad, and I'm actually past, I missed my mark where I wanted to go down and film the transmitter down there for the radio station, but that's down there. But when me and RJ were here last, we found the old 13th Street, or the Reading incline that came up the mountain, and I wanted to get to an area where the Highland House Hotel would have been, but I said it was private property. Well, we are at the end of the line here because we were venturing on private property, but straight out there where that house is, I'll zoom in there. So right out there, that is where Highland House used to be, the Highland House Hotel, and the Redding incline came up the side of the mountain and ended right about there. So pretty ironic that that while I'm out here hiking, I actually take a wrong turn and find something that I was looking for in a previous video but didn't think I would ever find it. So there we go. All right, so I am going to be turning around and heading back because I did my calculations and realized I walked about halfway around the mountain already. So I put on, I think the whole mountain is 8 to 10 miles, and I walked 4 miles of it from where I started to where I was up there at the private property sign. So, but right there in the center is the Y102's AM station transmitter, which is where I stopped in my previous video and turned around and headed back. So I am not going to be venturing down there because you got to go down and actually go down the over here where I was at with the if this thing will focus out anymore, which it probably won't. Nope, that's all the further it goes out. But anyway, where the fork in the road was over there, you actually have to go down and meet up at the 9th Street gate and then take a trail down through here to get over to where the transmitter site is there. So we are not going to be venturing over that way. We are going to make my way back because I got about 4 miles of hiking to get back to my vehicle. Yep, and I wasn't fast enough. Right there in the center of the screen, you can see the tail end of a train going. I thought I heard one when I was coming down the side of the mountain there and everything, and didn't hear anything. Of course, I was behind mountains of dirt and everything there, but yeah, we missed it. Could have had a train coming around the bends down here along the river, which would have looked really neat, but oh well. That does look like an old electric pole from the looks of it. Does not look like a tree or anything to me, but this definitely looks like one of the poles that was used for to have the electric lines strung on. I don't know how I missed that before when me and RJ were here, but that's pretty interesting. All right, so this is going to be about the best way to explain this and show it to you here. But there you can see both Norfolk Southern lines, which was the old Redding lines right there in the center. So the one that continues to the right goes into Redding Yard, and the one that is on the left, that is the main line, which goes out and around and eventually meets up with the Wyomissing Junction out there. So there used to be a switch there, which was known as Control Point Titus, but back in the day it was also called Clapperthal Junction. And down there where the, probably can't see it that good there, but there's some white boxes down there, and almost in the center of the screen, that's where the switch used to be, where they would switch off and go on to the line that would go into the yard. But they since then have removed that switch and moved it a couple miles down the road, down that way, and that is where control point or CP Titus is right now. So, and what's ironic too, I did some research, and right over in there, which I'll zoom in on, that is the old line there, or the yard for the Titus generating station, which is where they would store the coal hoppers there when they were empty or full or whatever, to move them in and out of the yard there to dump the coal. What's funny is Norfolk Southern does not own that yard. That is still owned by quote unquote Redding Company. I checked the public records on that, and it says Redding Company, not Norfolk Southern or anything like that. Redding Company. So that's really weird that that yard there is still owned by Redding Company. And I know I showed this before, but yeah, this is just out through there was where that remains of the electric pole was and everything. And the only other proof of remains of the railroad is, yeah, this rail right here, which I don't know how long that is, because it is embedded in the ground there pretty good, and there is no getting that out. So those are the only two signs that a railroad was here at one time, other than the remains of the old trestle that's down there close to the parking area that you saw in my other video. And I'm still trying to solve the mystery as to what that round structure is down there. We were trying to figure that out in my previous video when RJ was with me, but I can't venture down there because that's private property. But I looked online and still couldn't find anything as to what that stone structure could have been at one time. So still a mystery. Right, so straight out through the trees over there, you can see the old abutments there for the trestle that allegedly went across here and came across, and the other abutments right here in front of me. So I'm pretty sure I found a picture online of the trestle when it was here and a trolley on it, and I'm going to insert that in here right now, and you can be the judge as to whether you think this is the area where that trestle was in the photograph that you're seeing there and everything. You can let me know in the comments, because I believe the picture is titled there. It says trestle along Neversink Mountain, and I'm pretty sure this is the area that that picture was taken. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this video here of Neversink Mountain, and wrap up my exploration of Neversink Mountain. I can safely say now that I have explored all the parts of this mountain that are explorable and are public. I've checked it out all of it, and I've pretty much hiked pretty much the whole mountain and everything. So yeah, today was about probably close to 8 miles and everything from where I'm at here, out and around the mountain onto the other side over there into the Mount Penn area, or not quite in the Mount Penn, but over on that side where the other video with me and RJ left off back in January. So it was a pretty nice day for a hike. You can tell it's later in the day because there's more vehicles here now, people getting off work and school, using the trails around here to do some afternoon exercising and everything. So if you did like the video, please give it the thumbs up. Also, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button down there, and you can also ring that bell and be notified when I upload new videos to YouTube. And again, thank you to all the new subscribers. Had some new subscribers over the past week or so, so thank you for subscribing to the channel, and to everybody that follows me out there on the other social media platforms. So until next time, it's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.